Welcome to the 18th annual School on the Move Prize ceremony right here. Please join me in another round of applause for the Kenny Singers. The Kenny School Singers, directed by Jerry True. You know, being able to have that sort of stage presence, that's kind of a superpower, you know, especially at the elementary school age. And those words, invincible, just what we needed to get this morning going. The Kenny School is a BPS elementary school that recognizes strength and integrity through arts performance education. And they're doing it all to service the school community and provide what we got today, some excitement and some real joy in this ballroom. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Kenny School Singers, for what you just did. This is like a real big honor for me. I'm Rondella Richardson from WCVB TV. I'm on the Good News Brigade. It is an absolute pleasure to be back with you for a third year in a row for this School on the Move ceremony and to be your MC today. Today, extra special. We're gathering as a community, filling the room with good news. And as you all know, there is enough news that is not good. I see someone raising their hand. Yes. Everybody here for good news, raise your hand. All right. The other thing that is very interesting here is that not only are we not focusing on the negatives, but all three schools that have been selected as finalists are positives, and they are all to be celebrated this morning. All three schools. This year, our schools are literally in a league of their own, and they all happen to be high schools. So here's the list. The 2023 School on the Move finalists are Boston Green Academy, East Boston High School, and Fenway High School. I love it, love the energy in the room. And as you know, later in the program, one of these schools will be awarded the prestigious $100,000 School on the Move prize. But this is undoubtedly a celebration of all the finalist schools because each in their own way have shown us what is possible. And we are learning from every school that's nominated on this list. And that becomes something that becomes part of the fabric of Boston. The EdVestors team has put together a full and interesting program for you today. As you can tell, it's already started with some amazing music and students. So let's get right to it. Let me welcome to the stage EdVestors Board Chair, Myra Parker Brass. Please join me here at the podium. Good morning.
It's good to see you. Good morning, everyone. It is certainly my pleasure to welcome you all this morning and to thank you for making time in your day to celebrate, honor, and uplift Boston schools. And whether this is your first or your 18th School on the Move event, I can assure you that you are going to leave this room excited about the work that is happening in our schools. Before we get started this morning, there are a few folks in the room that I would like to recognize. In addition to Superintendent Skipper, we have several elected and appointed officials joining us this morning. We have with us City Councilors Michael Flaherty and Ed Flynn. I believe they are in the room with us. We also have school committee members. We have our chair, Jerry Robinson, our vice chair, Michael O'Neill, and school committee member Brandon Cardet Hernandez. So we thank them for their continued work. I want to extend my deep appreciation to the prize selection panel for your thoughtful engagement in this process and for taking on what you will all see was a very difficult task of selecting today's finalists and winner. Finally, I want to give a huge shout out to the EdVestors team, to the entire EdVestors team. I want to recognize the talented and dedicated staff who I'm sure you've seen and met this morning or have gotten to know through the School on the Move opportunities. To our ever-committed board members, I want to thank you for your behind-the-scenes work on the School on the Move Prize, but more broadly, I just want to thank you for the work that you do daily in support of Boston schools. I'm sure as you know or you are learning, EdVestors partners with a full range of stakeholders, our students, our families, our educators, our school leaders, central office staff, funders, and policymakers to drive improvement in Boston schools. And through our programmatic work, we spotlight improving schools. We seed racial equity work in school communities, and we work to build opportunities for system impact in the arts, mathematics, and career pathways. Today is about shining a spotlight on the schools, leaders, and teachers who create and continuously improve the learning environments where all our students can thrive. By sharing the stories of Boston schools on the move, our aim is to help more schools improve. The three finalists we celebrate today, and we've already had a chance to shout out, Boston Green Academy, East Boston High School, and Fenway High School, were selected by the School on the Move panel based on their demonstrated improvements, their focus on equity, and the relevance of their improvement story to other schools. You'll get to hear from all three finalists soon, but before we do that, I'm going to hand things back to Rondella to welcome Superintendent of Schools Mary Skipper and EdVestors CEO Marinelle Rossmanier up to the stage.
Thank you so much, Myron. Welcome, Superintendent Skipper and Marinelle. This is like a favorite part. We put the administrators in the seat to answer the questions. Good morning, everyone. How are you feeling? Excellent. Excellent. Okay, Superintendent Skipper, you've been in this job for just over a year now. Talk a little bit about what you see as, oh, you got your mic? Okay. Given all the finalists of high schools, share your vision for the BPS high schools and the strategies you're focusing on this year.
Great. Well, first of all, just congratulations to all the finalists. It's thrilling to know they're secondary as well, given that was the last role I had here. So I know all three school and school leaders and communities, and they're all deserved, right, of being a finalist. I think they also exemplify the vision that we're trying to build of our secondary schools. And that really is around kind of four pillars. First being quality academics, right? We want to make sure that every student has access to equitable literacy, our inclusive education, expansion of bilingual programming. I mean, it's really about building up academics so that every student has access to high quality instructional materials at grade level and the supports they need to succeed. And I think all of the finalists represent that. The second is around really a hub community strategy. And this is where so many of the partners in the room come into play. This is where we really identify the needs that the community wants around a school and then really leverage partnerships in a positive way for whole child education. And that is something you'll be hearing more and more about. But all of these schools have been hubs in many ways, even before we called it that. The third, which I personally find extremely exciting, is around early college and career pathways. You know, we know that our secondary students, as they leave us, need to be set up to be successful in college and also have particular career experiences as they are part of high school as a way to ensure that they have every opportunity we would want for our own kids. And this is work we've done on and off in the BPS, but we now, with EdVestors and other partners, really have deep traction in this work of giving our students that experience. And then, lastly, this is the exciting work of the Green New Deal with the mayor. I mean, we're so blessed to have a mayor that is committed to making sure that the facilities that our students are in, and to give you a sense, in the last 40 years, we've built 10 schools. 10 schools. And so this is an opportunity to really make sure that the great work, programmatic work, opportunities we're trying to provide for students are in buildings that are sustainable, have the type of support of student experience that our community has identified. We've gone to great lengths in the community to identify, what do you want for your children? And the things we hear about out of school programming, athletics, arts education, sciences, many of our buildings don't support currently. So the work of the Green New Deal, particularly at the secondary level, to be able to create that opportunity and experience in buildings that are 21st century and will support it, to me is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Absolutely. Marinelle, EdVestors works with the entire range of Boston public schools. Talk a little bit about how EdVestors is playing a role at the high school level and beyond.
Thanks for the question, Rondella. And before I answer, I want to just echo the superintendent's congratulations to the 3 schools. I'll go in reverse order: Fenway, East Boston, and Green Academy. It's wonderful to be in the room. It was really a bottom-up enterprise that we had 3 high schools here today, 3 secondary schools. So shout out to the panel who, reviewed a number of schools in real depth. And these 3 rose to the top for many reasons that we'll talk about. So as you said, we work with all public schools in Boston, pre-K to 12, but a common thread and increasing focus for us has really been on the secondary school space. I'll give 2 examples. First, as the superintendent talked about in the career pathways and career connected learning space, which is really about providing relevant and engaging opportunities. Each of these schools are engaged in this work in some ways that we'll hear about through the videos and remarks as we go along through the day. But that kind of engaging, relevant experience that connects to both their neighborhoods and their world in the world of work to prepare young people for both college or post-secondary and career. So that has been an incredible opportunity to work with a set of partners, including the district, including the schools that are here and many others, as well as a set of partners. I think it really illustrates the power of partnership with businesses and higher ed institutions. Most specifically, we have been in a deep partnership with Bunker Hill Community College and UMass Boston, the Private Industry Council, and the city and the state to really build robust pathways that have meant that last year, 2,850 young people in secondary schools in Boston were participating in pathways. That's an increase of nearly 30% over the period of 3 years when, you might remember we were in the middle of a pandemic. So it says a lot about what schools have been focused on.
So important for the kids to see that road forward.
Exactly. And the second example I'll share briefly is in our arts education work, where we have been the lead partner around BPS Arts Expansion for the last 15 years. When we started that work in 2009, less than a quarter of high school students had access to any arts education during the school day. Today, it's 2/3, and the work that the schools have done and partners and philanthropy are also contributing to those students, ensuring that they can complete the mass core sequence in academics for admission to college.
That's amazing. There's no reason to cut the arts. It's so vital. What's the significance of the School on the Move Prize, and what do we learn from the stories when we come together like this?
Such a good question. That has been a driving force of this work since we started the School on the Move Prize in 2006, was not only to lift up the bright spots and frankly shift the narrative that we too often hear from folks maybe who don't want to share only good news like you do, Rondella, and really elevate those bright spots to shift the narrative and to document the practices that those schools are employing in order for other schools who are just like them in the same city, in the same circumstance, can really point the way. And I think, as I said, this was a bottom-up approach to having 3 high schools here, but In the conversations that we have in this city about high school, infrequently do these three schools or other schools that don't fit a certain category get mentioned. And so I think we have a lot to learn from these three schools in particular. There are strategies that they've used individually and some that cut across. I mentioned already career-connected learning and the pathway work that each of them are engaged with. The other, Mary talked about the focus on instruction. They each have a relentless focus on improving instruction and systems and structures in their buildings that make that happen. And third, also referencing the superintendent's pillars, is really partnerships. Leveraging businesses and higher ed and community-based organizations, college and career partners have all been a part of the strategy. And so we want to lift up and share those approaches so that parents and families and students know about them, but so that their peer schools can also learn from them.
Okay, I think the information on what partners can do and what you need from partners is important. Superintendent, on the same kind of topic, why are the partnerships so important to a quality, equitable education in the city for young people?
So, we need a village, right? I think you've heard me say this before, and there is no better village than Boston. This is Boston. And if we can't rally around the thing that is our most precious resource, which are our students, I don't know what we are then. Our community has traditionally stepped up. And when I think about where we are now, just even since coming in, the amount of support that has been offered and will continue to need, it's indicative that the spirit of our city is about making sure that our kids are taken care of. I think with the businesses, it definitely intersects with our work on, early college and the career pathways in particular. It is vital for our kids to have the opportunity to actually practice what they learn, to see what's possible, to be able to go out, to be mentored by folks that are in business, to be able to see what entrepreneurship is on the ground, to be able to understand and see themselves in that work. And that happens by investing in our young people. That's time, that's resource, and working with us in a lot of different ways to make those connections. It's also about businesses supporting in our hub model with needs that the school may have, that they can actually show what volunteerism is and what being invested in your local community is. I think our nonprofits and our community organizations are really about our whole child. I've always just been so impressed and proud of the amount of support that our nonprofits and community-based do relative to our social emotional, our out-of-school time, our summer time in particular, and our year-round. And I think, now that we have our hub structure, this is a great place for our nonprofits and community-based to plug into, to really say, how can I support not just the academic, but the social emotional, physical well-being of our young people? For the philanthropists, I think we have just great examples that, Marinelle shared certainly on the art side, but I think, the goal with philanthropy is to really help us to try some things that we believe will positively impact our young people, that we can then prove concept and we can sustain. And I think the arts are a perfect example where they came in at a time in a joint effort and really lifted the field so that our young people who are not getting access finally had access. And now it's incumbent on the school district to step into that space and to make sure they continue. And then, just in terms of higher ed, there's so many places higher ed could play. When I think of, I think per capita, we have the most higher ed of any place in the country. It's lots of places. It's early college. It's giving our children access on the campus to be able to feel what that's about, to be able to develop some resilience around when you struggle, but do it in the context of support of the high school. Our 13th year is a great example. Early college in general is a great example. It's also our pipeline. We are the biggest employer in Boston for pipeline. We need to start partnering at a deep level with higher ed to say, we need folks that are ready for inclusive education and believe in that vision, for bilingual education and believe in that vision. So there's lots of opportunities. I don't think there's, as I walked around the room, and I'm fortunate to know many of you, I don't think there's one person I met that I couldn't think of a role you can play.
With that, for last question quickly, what do you need the people in the room to do? Like, what's the steps?
So, post-pandemic, I think we all kind of stood back and asked why. Why are we doing what we're doing, right? Why? I think kids ask it, and we're shocked that kids ask it. They ask that question with their attendance every day. Why? Why do I go to school? We need to answer that question here around our schools. Why? What is it that you can contribute in your way, in your business, in your work, in your career, in your life, that can help a young person, many of whom are sitting in this room today, take that next step, that investment. When we think back of all of the people that invested in us over the course of our careers and what would have changed if that didn't happen, that's what our young people need.
Thank you, Superintendent. And all of the kids in the room would love to hear from you guys too. So if you have a minute to say hello to a young person, make that connection. That's so important. As is tradition here for School on the Move, we want to introduce you to our 3 finalist schools. We're going to turn our attention now to the video. We're going to start with Boston Green Academy.
This is Boston Green Academy.
Boston Green Academy is a school with a purpose. BGA exists as an environmental justice initiative to make sure that the students and families who are most impacted by climate change have a say and have the tools and the agency to make a dent in those problems. And that's why we prepare students to be leaders in the sustainability of our community and world.
Not only does it teach us school things, it teaches us real life things that we're going to need. Every senior has to do their internship during the last term of the senior year. That's a graduation requirement.
We're very focused for having our students be prepared for college and career, not one or the other. They see that we're trying to do things differently and in a more interesting way, particularly for them.
Project week is a full week in school where we don't do school. It's just different groups that you could join based off of your interests. And the group that you join, you get to spend a whole week with them exploring Boston. One of the most memorable experience is the Green Action Expos. We did research, writing our own thesis paper, and for me, I got a chance to present it in front of our whole grade. I did a great job.
We're very proud to be one of the first schools to have a freight farm in the Boston Public Schools.
My favorite part about the freight farm is that we got to eat some plants, and I was hungry that day, so.
We're 34% students with disabilities. Our students come from every neighborhood. They represent every demographic group with that many different learning profiles, all under one roof. And we're proud of the inclusion that we have to make sure that they are served in really affirming and great ways.
BGA provides us a safe space for their students in a way that we can all collaborate and connect. All of us are included, no matter what perspective or ideas you may have. They all matter, and we matter, and we're all, basically like a big family.
The practices that have made BGA a school that's made tremendous progress include being an inclusion school, our focus on family engagement, and a real strong focus on continuous improvement in academics through instructional rounds. We constantly say we're proud of our progress, but we're not satisfied. And we're going to continue to try to do 21st century work in a 19th century building.
I'll be leaving feeling like I've done something. I've been successful at things, and I've learned a lot. It's very important to think about the future because, recently we've been facing these issues around the world. It is important to understand how much of an impact just contributing together can have.
BGA is a hopeful place. Let's look to the future. What is the next chapter for Boston? What is the next chapter for our planet? And how do we help the students at BGA become leaders in that work?
That was a wonderful introduction to Boston Green Academy. What you saw in the freight farm, those of us who visited the school got to take home with us. I made a delicious squash recipe with Swiss chard, so if anybody wants the recipe after, I can share it with you. I, again, appreciate all of you being here this morning and standing room only to celebrate our schools, I think just speaks volumes. I just want to take a moment to share a bit about the School on the Move prize process so folks know how this works. The way the prize has been chosen has evolved over the time since we've been awarding the prize. As I said, since 2006, we've refined the criteria and the selection process, as well as the way we document what the winners do to drive improvement and how others can learn from that. This year, once again, as we've done for the last few years, we issued an open call to all Boston Public Schools that serve students grades pre-K to 12 to share with us their own evidence base and story of success over the last 3 to 5 years. The selection panel, who I will thank again for all their incredible diligence in this process, narrowed a set of applications to 3 finalists, and then we get on a bus, and one day in September, we visit all 3 schools, and the panelists really look for 3 things: a story of improvement that is compelling, a focus on equity, and a focus on the relevance that that school's improvement story has for other schools. As I mentioned earlier, sharing the winning school story is a critical part of this prize process. You will see, if you open up your program, a QR code. We're very high tech these days. There are a number of QR codes on your table, which links to a report on last year's School on the Move prize winner, which is the Gardner Pilot Academy. I'm glad that Erica Herman, the principal of the Gardner Pilot Academy, has joined us this morning. She said the drive-in today was much more relaxed than it was last year, despite the traffic. The report really highlights the structures and practices and tools that the Gardner has used over time to really realize the vision of the community hub school that they have in place. The superintendent just shared with us that this is a key strategy for the district. And so we really want this report to be seen as a tool designed for educators who are implementing hub schools to see it as a resource and really bring together their entire school community around this work. So speaking of school communities, next we'll get to hear from the staff and the young people at East Boston High School.
This is East Boston High School.
So at East Boston High School, it's about the relationships that we form. People want to be here. I mean, we have a wait list at every grade level. Teachers who come here find a home. The kids want to be here, right? They trust their teachers. They know that what they're learning is going to get them. You know, it's not just about getting them to pass the MCAS. It's about teaching them life lessons. They're all good kids. And if you treat them right and you treat them with respect, they're gonna do what you need them to do.
They have that, like, you treat me with respect, I will treat you with respect. You can ask help for anything. You can go to staff, you can go to your classmates, you can go to teachers, you can go to administrators, including the principal.
Every teacher you go to, you can have a genuine conversation, and they're just genuine people.
Teacher-led instructional rounds, that's big for us. These units that our teachers are designing are for our students. It's relevant to the real world, what's going on, and it's really connected them to make them go deeper into their learning. And that's what's moving the needle for us, right? It's all teacher-led.
EC has challenged me a lot academically. I take all honors in one AP class, and I think once I get to college, it won't be any surprise for me. I think EC has prepared me very well for college and the next step.
Teachers and friends here, especially like the upperclassmen, they do help you with college preparation as well, and they do support what you want to do in the future.
We're a family here at East Boston High School. More than 90% of our students live in East Boston. I got 45 members of my family who graduated from here, including my kids, parents. I'm proud to say I graduated from East Boston High School. And I hope everyone who graduates from East Boston High School is as proud as I am.
EC is deeply rooted in community. I feel like my school is a community in a community. especially because my brother used to go to this school, so feel a sense of belonging.
I had cousins who came to this school. They told me that they have a very good, program where they could find you a job to see if you would want to experience it.
I'm the youngest out of my siblings. They were here. There's a lot of people that comes from a different country or the same country that I am. I'm from El Salvador. The school, it's really diverse and it's a good thing.
We work together, obviously. We're like family.
We've done this together. I'm proud of how students represent our school. I'm proud of the relationships we formed. I'm proud of our parents. I'm proud of our graduation rate. I know how that's increased. We were at the 3rd percentile. We moved up to the 27th percentile. We're digging deeper into data to see what other strategies we can use. The future is unlimited for us. I think that we're gonna keep getting better and better.
We're shining to everyone. Yeah.
It's hard to explain. It's something like you gotta walk the halls. You gotta see what's going on here. I tell everybody, yeah, we're a part of Boston, but don't ever forget to put the East in front of the Boston.
Good morning. Buenos dias. Oh, I love it. I didn't realize I was nervous about this event until I woke up this morning and said, oh, it's over. And realized I had dreamt that I had already done this bit. But the best part was that in my dream, I brought up one of our lead sponsors, Jim Stone and Kathy Stone, up here to dance with me. We're not doing that today, Jim, but I might save that idea for next year. Hello, everyone. My name is Lorena Lera. I'm one of the newest members of the EdVestors staff, but I'm no stranger to EdVestors as a former member of the EdVestors board and a former school committee member, but most importantly, as a Boston Public School parent. The School on the Move Prize and this event are made possible by the many corporate, foundation, and individual sponsors of this work. You can see the full list of sponsors at your table and in the back of the program book. And I specifically want to highlight and thank you, our lead supporters of the prize. And don't worry, I'm not going to pull you up here to dance either. The James M. and Kathleen D. Stone Foundation, Fidelity Investments, Charlotte Foundation, and Plymouth Rock Assurance Foundation. Thank you. I first got to feel the impact of EdVestors through my own children's education. My children's school is a direct beneficiary of EdVestors' long-standing work in arts expansion. Every day, I get a front row seat to what EdVestors supports through collaborative work with arts organizations and the Boston Public Schools. This was especially true during the pandemic. During the pandemic, I had linguistically and culturally affirming arts zooming right into my living room. Not only did it enhance my children's education, but it brought joy during a very difficult time. I distinctly remember running from parks and donut shops, which normally keep my children very entertained, to make it back home so that they wouldn't miss whatever Zoom arts activity their school was putting together. EdVestors' mission is to advance equitable, meaningful education that prepares every Boston student to activate their power and shape their future. And that's the beautiful thing about EdVestors. It's that it understands there's a need for holistic education. The work is far-reaching, pre-K through 12, arts, math, racial equity, career pathways, and showcasing the bright spots. That's why we're here today, to spotlight and celebrate the incredible work that happens every day in so many of our schools, and in these three in particular. This work and EdVestors' role in this work would not be possible without your support. In just a few months at EdVestors, I've seen firsthand the value of your contributions to our work. No show of support goes unappreciated. No gift is too small. But a former boss of mine once said, think of a number that you can give and add a 0 to it. So with that, I'm going to pause for a moment and ask you all to pull out your cell phones, open up your camera, and scan the QR code on the display at your table or in the last page of your program book, and help us continue to do this work. Make a donation. You can also donate the old-fashioned way. I'm not going to hold technology against you. We receive checks and we receive cash at the registration where you got your name tags. And you can do that after the program. For those of you watching online, visit EdVestors at edvestors.org to donate. And just for a little extra incentive, I mean, I know the work is amazing, but with a donation of $100 or more, your name will be entered in a raffle to win one of 2 prizes. A night out at Fenway for a Red Sox game, that's good enough, but we've sweetened the pot with 22 of your nearest and dearests in Houghton Mifflin Harcourt's private box. That's an $8,000 value, and I will only take one of those spots, so don't worry. Thank you, Houghton Mifflin, for making this prize possible. The additional raffle item is a one-night stay and breakfast for 2 at this very hotel at the Westin Copley Place, and that is a $375 value. It's a win-win regardless. You're supporting good work, and you're putting your name in for a raffle. We're so grateful for your support today and every day. Thank you for making this work possible. Thank you for partnering with us. Mil gracias. And now, let's get to know the 3rd finalist school, Fenway High School. Thank you.
Suspense? I hope so. We're going to do the video after a panel because we have something extra special this year. You're going to actually meet some of the representatives from the school, and we're going to chat with them. So come on up, students. Just to make it difficult, let's all move down. Okay, so we're going to hear from the Fenway video in a little bit, but first, let's have you each introduce yourself. Say your name, your grade, and what school you're representing here today. We can start right here.
Okay. Hi, my name is Brittany Quiñones, and I'm a senior at Fangue High School.
Hi, my name is Liliana, and I am a senior at East Boston High School.
Hello, my name is Iowa, and I'm a junior at Boston Green Academy.
Aren't they poised? This isn't easy being up here, is it? No? Okay. Okay. Let's start. This is for anybody. What's been like a highlight of your high school career? Share something.
I can start.
Sure.
I want to say that in Fenway High School, we have something that is called Fangue Idol. We do it each year, and then it's like a sing, like presentation, and so I did it, and it's never, because they never did dance, and I love to dance, so I grabbed all of the, like my strong power and all of that, and then I danced, and then I won first place. That's so nice. Thank you. I'm also the captain of soccer team. It's also a highlight. It's really good. And yeah.
Okay. Liliana?
Hi, so I would say probably one of my highlights at East Boston High School would have been like the involvement that I've been like in clubs, sports, and as well as after school programs. I've been a part of the East Boston girls volleyball team for 4 years now. I started playing my freshman year, which was like literally straight out of COVID. It was a weird environment going in because you couldn't really like touch anyone. You couldn't like, give them like a high five before the game or a good luck or nothing. So it was kind of random, and it's just like, it was so different. And keep in mind, like I didn't even have, this was coming in from middle school to high school. So it was totally different. Like, and then going into my sophomore year, which was in person, it was a shock where I was just like, whoa, this is high school. I'm actually in high school already. So then it was just like the highlight for me just has been really, really great. Like I love East Boston High School. I love what it has done for me. And I'm really proud to say that I'm part of like the Jets.
There you go.
So I'm so happy, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
One of my highlights of high school so far is probably Project Week. It's when you go out of school for a whole week at the end of the year and just do stuff in Boston. And my group was community boating, so I learned how to sail, and it was something new. So I was out of my comfort zone, and I was really scared at the moment to go on the water. It's like a huge sea basically, and I was on the boat, and once I was on the boat, it was really fun because I never thought I would have so much fun doing something that I never did before.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that I kept on to me to just in life in general, Even if it's uncomfortable, you gotta do it no matter what. So
There's the theme. Wow. Going out of the box a little bit. Dancing for a singer's competition. That's pretty amazing too. Talk about why it's important to have a school focused on sustainability.
Well, the world is getting a lot worse due to lots of issues, and climate change and global warming is really up there. So being greener is just being greener and teaching students how to be greener is a way to solve that, because the students are gonna end up becoming leaders or people that are gonna go and combat this problem. So I really think that it's really important, because we gotta solve the problem that we made, You can't just leave it out for the rest of the world, the next generation, because we're just basically messing them up in the long run. So.
Very well said. Liliana, you talk a lot about feeling that sense of community. Where does that come from? I mean, and what does it give you to have that at East Boston High?
So I talk about a community at East Boston High School because I come from an immigrant background where my parents, immigrated here from El Salvador, and it gives me a sense of belonging being at the school just because it's a very diverse school. So it's just wherever I look, there I see my people, And then it's just it's fun getting to know that everyone is different in their own way, in their own beautiful way. So it's just like, it's like a very warm feeling coming into the school because I know the people around me. And EST has also like implemented so much for me in the long run because they have so many programs that have helped me individually, and I know it has helped a lot of students too. For example, right now, like I'm taking a college class at Bunker Hill, and it's just giving me the opportunity to like work with college students and as well like do college work, where I'm just like experiencing that world and like doing college writing, which is like I'm like I'm not the best writer, but this teacher is just like she's so nice, and like the people in that class also like they're much older than me, and I know that, and it's like we do this discussions post every single week where like I get to like we get to like give each other feedback. So in my like I like that because I know like in my school we implement feedback a lot from like teachers and students, and we do collaboration work a lot too. So in that sense, it's just like we're all working together, we're all coming together, working together, and we all individually have different things that we can add on to the school as well. So to me, EST has just been a big family to me, like through volleyball, through the STEM programs that I do after school, and as well as, the dual enrollment system as well. So.
Okay. Wow. Yes. I don't think it's ever been clearer how all three are very big winners right here. At Fenway, you also have the dual enrollment, some college options. Talk about what classes you've taken, what you think about all that.
I just want to say really quick that I feel really honored to be in front of so many important and inspiring people, as well as I'm representing Fenway High School. I want to say that early college is something really important for like students at Fenway because it's a big opportunity. We gain credits and then we receive college classes even though we're at high school. So it's really awesome. Also, during junior year, we get like the professors come to Fenway, and then during our senior year, we go to the like UMass in Warrenworth. And it's really cool because we get the experience of like how college, like as a college students we're gonna be, and then we get prepared, really get like well prepared. We have college advisor, and then we have during Wednesdays, they give us like, we have classes where they teach us and then they get us prepared for be success. Also in our college classes and then for like, the future too. So it's really awesome. I love it.
Thank you. Quickly, what can you give some advice to the leaders at the district, at the school, in the city, in this room, to make sure every kid has an amazing high school experience in the future?
I'll go. I would say my advice to you guys, it would just be to ensure that the staffs are really great to the students, because I feel like for every school, for kids to have a sense of belonging in that school, like every kid need to feel like they're equally like, unified, and every kid needs to feel like they can get up to school every morning and that they know that they can count on people from the school system. So just like ensure that all staffs are equally, respectful to every student, no matter what their background is. So.
Okay. Yes. I think we're going to leave it right there. I think you know your jobs now out there. You have your assignment. We're going to move on to the next video, and thank you so much. You guys are amazing.
This is Fenway High School.
So Fenway High School is a social justice early college high school. We recognize that there's an opportunity gap, there's an injustice within our system. Our students and families overwhelmingly are telling us that they want access to college and career opportunities. We realize that we're essentially on the campus of the colleges of the Fenway. And so we have redesigned as a wall-to-wall early college high school. All of our students have the opportunity to earn up to 2 years of college credit for free.
I get the opportunity to have the same opportunities that college students have, that they're paying thousands of dollars to have at the reach of my finger.
The advantage of students being on the campuses is enormous. It's not only the academic challenges that get in the way for students to be successful in college.
So initially, college was something that I was definitely a little iffy about. All I knew about college was that it was a lot of work and really expensive. I didn't want to be in debt. And I knew I had a lot of people around me, including teachers, that were just kind of like, oh no, we have so much college debt. Like, we're just working to pay it off. To step into the college campus and actually learn alongside other college students made me realize that it's something that I'm really interested in. Yes, college can be expensive, but we have a lot of resources around us. Yes, the courses are a bit more rigorous than high school. That doesn't mean that it's unachievable.
I'm very proud of our faculty who have worked extremely hard to redesign and change, and those processes aren't always easy. Our faculty are both really intelligent and also really caring, which is a great combination to have.
The academic culture in Fenway is the teachers want you to get where you want to be. The teachers will literally direct you in the path because they want to make you reach your goals, you know?
I love writing. They really offered me a journalism program, so I'm published both creatively and journalistically because Fenway helped me to advocate for myself.
Fenway's always been a place that puts relationships first. We can experience a lot of joy at the same time as trying to make sure that our young people have what they need to prepare them for their futures.
We did Jeopardy, and we had all the houses go against each other. We were able to just all come together, be competitive, and just have a blast, you know?
They've definitely pushed me to try everything. I've done things that I would have never imagined. I've cooked, I've done poetry, the debate team, just a lot of new things.
We are, of course, always most proud of our students for their hard work. The jobs that we are preparing students to take don't exist yet. They're going to need skills and habits that will enable them to navigate a changing society.
My goal for the future is graduating high school and becoming the first in my family to complete college. The first time that I sat in a UMass Boston class, it really did feel special because I felt like it's where I'm supposed to be. I know that next year I'm going to end up in any college that I want.
Boston is a world-famous university city, and we need more schools that really connect the dots between high school and college for our young people.
We are getting closer to the big reveal. Mayor Wu wanted to be here, but could not, so let's listen to a video she sent in.
Hi everyone, it's Mayor Michelle Wu. I want to thank all the school leaders, educators, and nonprofit partners here this morning for the magic that you work in classrooms across our city every day. Thank you to EdVestors for shining a light on the amazing transformations that are happening across our district. Your commitment to supporting our students is behind so much of that momentum, from expanding access to quality instruction and advancing racial equity, to creating more career pathways and early college experiences for more of Boston's young people. To the School on the Move Prize selection panel, thank you for your leadership, and thank you for playing such an active role in our school communities. I want to congratulate school leaders, Mr. Brangiforti, Mr. Holzer, and Mr. Walker, and the teams from all three finalist schools at Boston Green Academy, East Boston High, and Fenway High. You have all demonstrated a commitment to nurturing learning environments that foster curiosity and empower every one of our young people to thrive. It's a commitment that our city shares across all our schools, because all our young people and families deserve rigorous, high-quality academics, career-connected learning, and opportunities that reflect the incredible ecosystem of partnerships we're blessed to have here in Boston. So in addition to congratulating all the leaders, teachers, students, and families behind the success at this year's finalist schools, I want to say thank you for the time, energy, and care that you've poured into creating communities where real, meaningful growth and learning takes place. Our city's future is brighter because of you.
This is it, people. Okay, the moment we've been waiting for. I'm honored to welcome Jim Stone, the chair of the selection panel, to the stage to announce this year's School on the Move Prize winner. Jim and his wife, Kathy, have been longtime supporters of this prize and of EdVestors and are truly one of the major reasons we're able to do this the way we do this, which is very important. Before Jim opens the envelope to announce the prize winner, I'm going to invite Superintendent Skipper, Myron, all back to the stage. Let's get the Boston Teachers Union, Jessica Tang up here, School Committee Chair Jerry Robinson. We want to all be part of this moment, announcing the winner. And as they make their way to the stage, I have a special announcement. Just moments ago, I was notified, more good news, that through the generosity of an anonymous donor, we are going to have 2 of the runner-up finalist schools today receive an increased prize of $20,000. Again, everyone is a winner. Jim, please join me.
Don't give it to me yet.
Okay.
More dramatic if you give it to me. So, I'm Jim Stone, and I've had the privilege of chairing this panel for maybe more than a dozen years, and it's always a very special day, maybe one of my favorite days of the year. As was said earlier, this is a chance to emphasize the positive things in our schools rather than the negative, but also I want to emphasize a chance to learn from those schools that are doing something special and successful that can be applied to other schools and even to educational philosophy in general. So it's a really nice day, and I love this event. I will be probably your briefest speaker. I have only the following to say. First, as you probably could guess from seeing these little videos, all 3 of these schools are schools that in almost any other year could have been the winner. And these are 3 really wonderful schools. Finally, I want to thank people that have been thanked before, but I will say it again. My fellow panelists put in a couple of days of hard work to reach the decision. The EdVestors staff put in 5 to 10 times that much to get us there, and I want to thank every member of that staff. And then mainly, I want to thank all the teachers and principals who we're celebrating today, but all the others as well, because they're the people who work that hard for our students every day. So I think now we get to the moment you've been waiting for, the Oscar moment, as people like to say. Could I have the envelope, please? And the winner is East Boston High School. Principal Brangiaforte, please come up here.
Congratulations. Can I have the school leader from East Boston High come on up to the podium?
Whew. You guys might want to take a seat. I got a long speech here. Sorry, Jim, mine might be the longest. It's not every day you win the School in the Move prize, right?
No, I got something for you.
Oh, you do? Is it blue and gold, I hope? Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Wow. Good morning, everybody. And I'm humbled and honored to stand before you today to represent East Boston High School for being recognized as this year's winner of the prestigious School in the Move prize. First, I would like to thank EdVestors and their distinguished panel for their outstanding commitment to students across the city of Boston and for granting us this tremendous award. We applied for it 3 times. It took a while, but you guys finally came around. I would like to address the other finalists, Matt from Green Academy and Jeff from Fenway, who are both great school leaders and both do an amazing job with their schools. I congratulate you and your school communities for everything you do and keep up the great work. I told you the other night we should have split the money. You didn't want to listen. No. Now, for my beloved East Boston High School, a true community within a community. When you look up community, we were looking up the other day on the internet what it stood for, and something stood out. It said, to be part of a real community, you need to care about what is it you have in common. To be a real community, not only do you need to care about the community, but you also need to care about and respect each other. You need to be loyal to one another and build healthy relationships. That's what East Boston High School is all about. It gives me great pleasure to speak about the school that has given so much to so many people, including my family and me. If you didn't already know, I'm not just a school leader, I'm also a client. Not only did I graduate from this great educational institution, but I have so many family members, as you heard in the video, my children, and I still got one left. My mother, sister, father-in-law, aunts, uncles, like the scene from my cousin Vinny. He's a mechanic. My brother's a mechanic, you know. So as you can see, East Boston High School runs deep in my bloodlines. Some say if you were to cut me, I'd bleed blue and gold. But don't just take the words from me. Feel free to ask. We have over 25 alumni who work at the school, who have returned to Eastie, that are working at their alma mater. Before I address the many professionals who have made today possible, I'd personally like to thank a few who have profound influence on me, on my development as a son, teacher, administrator, school leader, father, and husband. I get a little emotional, but when I was younger, both of my parents inspired me to never stop striving to succeed. They always said, you always have a leadership quality. You're gonna go far in life. A few weeks before my mother passed in August, when I told her that we were up for the School in the Move prize. Sorry. She said, what's that for? I said, so I explained to her that it was for a school who's showing improvement and things that along that lines and stuff. And she looked at me, and the only one who called me Philip. Philip, you always worry. Don't worry, she says. People are always telling me that how great Eastie is and telling me what a great job you and your staff is doing. It's a lot better when I graduated, because I graduated there too. I said, I know. She said, you guys have done an amazing job. Then she asked, do you think your school's great? I said, of course. She says, then that's all that matters. She said, again, you guys are doing a terrific job. I said, yeah, but it'd be nice to win $100,000. She said, oh. She said, oh yeah, why don't you tell me that in the first place? You know? During my career, I was fortunate to serve under 2 of the most well-respected and skilled headmasters who've ever worked in the Boston Public Schools. Headmaster Emeritus John Poto, who couldn't be with us today, and Headmaster Emeritus Michael Rubin, who's here today. They are not only my mentors, but they are my personal friends. And if it were not for them and their continued wisdom and guidance, I know I would not be where I am today. During their tenure,
They imparted valuable leadership lessons that have greatly influenced my relationships with teachers, administrators, faculty, students, while at the same time fostering an educational environment that is conducive to maintaining high standards in both academics and athletics. Their coaching has been invaluable, and I dare to say that few other people can claim to have been mentored by two individuals so experienced and so committed to education of the East Boston High School students. Next, I'd like to thank my 5 beautiful children who put up with me. And, going to a school where your dad was administrator and then who was the school leader, it's tough. I always told them, you have to be above and beyond everybody. Because don't tell me, I don't want to get a call and say, your daughter's not wearing their uniform. As you can see, our students are all in their uniforms. So I thank them, and I'm glad that they went to East Boston High School, or I probably would have missed all their lives. But the four of them who have graduated, are doing wonderful. And they got their foundation from East Boston High School. So they're enjoying their success. And my baby right there will be graduating in 2026. And finally, on a personal note, I want to thank my beautiful wife, my better half, Carrie, because without her support, I could not do what I do. She allows me to continue to do what I do. She has put up, there's plenty of times that I've put that school before her, and she's always stood by me. I'm not gonna lie, being a principal, no matter what anyone tells you, it's a 24/7 job. It's like you're always on call. Whether something happens with a student, you're going to games, she'll call me, I'll be home at 4, next thing you know, the bus didn't show up, I'm here till 6, right? So it's always something, and I can't tell you how many times, almost cost me my marriage, but but she stayed by me. Always, and I thank you. When my journey began as a school leader back in 2013, we were at the 3rd percentile. But despite the data, I always knew we were a great school. We were underperforming, I had a clear vision, and I knew we had to make some changes. It started with the I, but it quickly turned to the we. Our tremendous staff came together for one common goal, to better service the students of our community. I believe that a captain is only good as his crew. And what a crew I have. With that being said, I would like to take this time to congratulate and thank all the staff members, students, community partners, and key people in the East Boston High School family, because without them, I would not be standing here today. I wish I could have everybody here, all my teachers. If it was me, I'd call off school and have them all here, but no. I have demanded tremendous commitment from my colleagues over the past several years, and they in turn have been loyal to the cause and offered superior instruction that has consistently elevated students' performance. While the sea sometimes was difficult to navigate, everyone batted down the hatches, stayed the course, and put forth maximum effort each and every school day. The results: higher student achievement, a welcoming educational environment, and a great atmosphere to work and learn. I will put my staff up against any staff in the state of Massachusetts. They work. It's not easy to work at East Boston High School. We do a lot of things, and we keep piling stuff on their plate, and they just keep taking it, and they just keep doing it. And they have been tremendous. I'd like to recognize a few people who are here today. My assistant, Judy Blanco, who's pushed my thinking through the instructional rounds and with curriculum. Her dedication to student achievement is second to none. We started 34 years ago as substitute teachers, and when we took over 23 years later, we'd probably be the last two you'd think would be leading East Boston High School. My teacher leaders, Angel and Holly, for their amazing classroom instruction and their willingness to help guide their colleagues through several school initiatives. Chris Leone, who has partnered with EdVestors throughout the years with our pathways, our dual enrollment, and our early college. He's done a great job. These are just a small sample of the dozens of great teachers and administrators who work tirelessly to give our students the best education possible, and for that, I thank you. To the parents and guardians who've entrusted my staff and me with their children's academic and social development, who believe in us, who gave us their children, to believe in us, to give them the best possible education, and who have always supported us and stood by us. To the support staff, because it really does take a village from the custodians who open the building, to the cafeteria workers who are cooking the meals for our kids, from the secretaries, to the librarians, to our counselors, to our student engagement coordinators and student specialists who keep the building safe, to the family liaisons. Again, it really does take a village. And to our amazing students right here, through their hard work, sweat and tears, have been able to excel in the classroom while spending countless hours studying, participating in extracurricular activities, and working long hours to help support their families. They are the true backbone of our community. Their growth is all the more significant when we reflect upon some of the tremendous obstacles and hardships that many of our students face on a daily basis, not to mention during the pandemic, which we kept making progress during the pandemic. Their accomplishments have not gone unnoticed, and today would not be possible without their commitment to excellence. For all of our efforts, I thank you. Can we have a nice round of applause for them? I would be remiss if I did not express my gratitude to some of the important individuals and organizations who contributed to the success of East Boston High School over the past decade. I'm sorry if I forget a few, there's tons. First, Superintendent Skipper, who took a chance on me. Although there was a few naysayers, she still took a chance. She believed in me, she believed in my abilities, and always supported me in the school. Even when she left the district, would often text, when she'd see the accountability data, she'd say, "You guys are straightening out the ship. Keep up the great work. I knew you could do it." Her words of encouragement were a beacon during turbulent times, and I thank you for that. Tommy Welch, who has not only been a big supporter of me, but the entire Region 1 principal team. I remember the first time I met him when he came into East Boston High School, when Mary and the staff transitioned out, and there was a new staff that came in, and Tommy was there. He came in with another individual who just looked at the data and thought we weren't doing anything, and came in and gave us a hard time, and him and Tommy came in, and Tommy left with him. Tommy came back in by himself and said, "Don't worry about it. I looked at you, I did some research. You guys are doing good. You guys are doing good things," he says. He says, and I knew that, he would always support us. And then he said, "I'm new to the area. I need some balloons for my daughter's birthday today. You know where I can get some?" But we thank him for that. Also like to mention the Region 1 principals for their leadership and guidance, especially Paula from the Otis, Tracy from the Elliott, Kristen from the PJK, Michelle, always supporting and sharing ideas. I can always count on them. We can always count on each other. If I may digress for one moment, I think there is really something to be said for adopting a K-6, 7 to 12 model. Looking at the preliminary data, we are seeing emerging, there's a trend that's showing that students who attended a school in East Boston from grade K-6 and then they enrolled in East Boston High School in grade 7 are performing better than their peers who attended a different school by grade 9. Well, we still are looking at it. I do believe that that model could be a success for across the city. There are so many other people who have contributed to our school success. I could not possibly thank them all, but I'd like to take a few. This is like the Oscars. I don't want to hear no music. It's a couple of more minutes. Robert, President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club, and most importantly, a graduate of East Boston High School, 1978. He's also the founder of the Base. He's also a good friend. He brought the Base to East Boston High School. We're the only school that has the Base in here. And we've been working on something big, so we're going to go to the superintendent soon. So hopefully we'll get it approved. But Robert, thank you for all your support. Sam from the HERC. Sam has been there from the beginning when he came in, told us about his program. And I said, "Sam, I got no money." And Sam said, "Don't worry about it. We'll do what we can. We want to partner with you." And for years, he did his program and supported us and for free until we finally were able to get some money. The PIC and Jimmy, for them, they're always giving our kids jobs, always partnering with us, helping us with our STEM Scholars program, doing a terrific job. We thank them. Another one, business partner in East Boston, Joe Ruggiero, who owns the funeral home, always supports East Boston High School, been a big supporter. Last time we won the Super Bowl, we needed 20 grand for jackets. Boom, he come up with it for us, got all the people involved, and he really helped us. Joe Mario, who's another graduate of East Boston High School, owner of Central 21, gives us tons of money for our food pantry. We always call him, and he'll give us tons of money and whatever we need. Manny Lopes, another graduate, East Boston Neighborhood Health Center, when he was the CEO. We had a school-based health center inside there. Veronica Robles, her arts program, helps us out with our multicultural festival. Gary, who's here, JFY Networks, another one who gives us whatever we need. If I say, Gary, I only got this amount of money, but I got 1,400 kids, you got to give it to me, he does it. So I can go on and on and on, but I know people want to get, I know. One more, I'm almost done. My last thing right here. I told you this, you don't win this often. So, I know, and I have to get back to school too. Being named the 2023 School and Move winner is a remarkable accomplishment for such a large urban school. I am happy that our dedication to our students did not go unnoticed. While I am proud of our progress, I understand that the journey is not over. We will continue to work hard to nurture, educate, and inspire every student who walks through the doors, as we are committed to making East Boston High School the best school in the state. In closing, I would like to invite all of you to visit our school, to walk the halls, and experience the magic. I guarantee when you leave, you will never forget to put the East in front of the Boston. Thank you.
So now we know what happens when you work on a speech for 3 years. It's amazing. Congratulations, East Boston. Congratulations to the other two finalists, Fenway High School and Boston Green Academy. You guys take home $20,000. And the moment we've been waiting for, class dismissed. Everybody go back to work so you can donate to Boston Public Schools.